Do we talk about sex?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Welcome to Ability 360. My name is Marcos Castillo. For today's 360 conversation, we will be talking about the Men's Disability Issues Group. With me today are Don Price and Derek Perrell. Hey, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, Marcos? Good. We get together once a month. It's always the third Thursday of the month from 5:30 to 7 p.m. here at the Ability 360 Center. And we meet upstairs in Classroom B. Well, as the name suggests, we're a bunch of men with different ages and different abilities and disabilities hang out and talk. No big whoop.
So I was introduced to a lot of resources to help me out as far as learning how to live life with a new disability. And one of the major resources was finding this group of men, which is probably the best resource that I have found.
Yeah, you came to us about a year after your injury, correct?
Probably about 6 months, actually. Yeah, I was early. It's helped with everything along the way. Mostly information. A really big part of it was the attitude and the whole mindset of just being okay with what's now normal for me. Realizing that it's normal for everybody else too. That's a big part of it, is keeping your head on straight. Pretty much any question that anyone could possibly have, this is the place to ask it, which is really nice. There's not any restriction as far as if you got to be nervous about talking about something, because that is the place to talk about the stuff that's you got no one else to talk to.
We're a bunch of guys sitting around talking. It's going to be a topic eventually. It usually doesn't take us long to get there.
Yeah, we're just talking about what everybody else is thinking. So
Yeah, if you don't have a question about sex at some point in 3 hours, you're probably not a dude in a men's group.
Women enter the discussion, so yeah, the topic gets covered. What about you, Derek?
I'd say, coming from a new disability, most of my curiosity was about what the future of my sex life was going to look like. And that was the best group of people to ask, because you've got some people who aren't sexually active and some people who are. Some people who can, some people who can't. So
kind of like in the real world.
exactly.
Okay.
But we're all in the same group and we all know we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to get over that barrier. I mean, you don't even know what questions you have until you spend enough time with these guys who have been there and done that. I mean, 20, 30 years sitting in a wheelchair, you'll have a lot more answers than I have questions. So no matter who you are, no matter how long you've been doing it, you can always get something out of it. And
So yeah, like I'm 16 years post. How many years?
35 years post-injury.
30 years post. Yeah. So Don probably has forgotten more about disabilities than we're ever gonna know.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's always good, because you're, freshly injured. When you first came in, we could tell you were in the wrong chair. They fitted you wrong. They pushed it off on you, things like that. And I've struggled with wheelchair things, but Don they made him out of stone back then, right?
most everything that I've discovered that I can actually do for myself, like driving or trying to go live on my own, I wouldn't even consider the possibility of doing it by myself if it wasn't for the people that I've met in the group saying, well, why aren't you driving yet? Or just being so nonchalant about it, making me realize that it's abnormal for me to think that I can't do these things.
Do you find that you have a harder time saying, well, I can't do that, now that you see other people who actually can do that?
Definitely. I'm lucky as far as what function I have since my injury. So being that I started coming to it so early on, I've seen I was worse off and now I'm not. So I can definitely see the shift.
We've watched him progress so much since he started coming.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about the group is just a lot of mentoring happens there organically. I mean, we learn from each other, we encourage each other, we laugh at each other.
Yeah.
So it's really a good atmosphere at the group.
It really does teach you how to laugh at yourself, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think if you're having a good day or if you're having a bad day, when you leave the group, I think you're going to be feeling better about yourself either way. And I think it's really exciting to come to the group.
Yeah. From Ability 360, my name is Marcos Castillo, and this has been another 360 Conversation. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today, Derek Farrell and Don Price.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely my pleasure.